Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Stitch and Books. My name is Jill. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a 30-something professional nanny living in Southern California, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk all about cross stitch and the books that I listen to while stitching. So yeah, let's just get into the stitching. So I have a finish for you today, and it is this little Cranium Carnations from the Creepy Cross Stitch book by Lindsay Swearingen. And so this is my little finish that I got done with. I thought I was stitching this on 32 count like mystery linen that I picked up from the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. It's a cute little, it's like a little bit speckledy black. I thought it would be great for this. Like you can say, like I said, I thought it was 32 count, but this school and this school are not the same shape, and this eyeball and that eyeball are not the same shape. So it is not an even weave. And I swear it's more of like a 32 count one way and like 42 count the other way, or however that works out. I hated stitching this only for the fabric. Like I absolutely hated stitching this. I stitched this 2 over 2, which I thought for 32 count would be great, but for this particular fabric, horrible, absolutely horrible. I hated stitching this. Like the stitches are just not, they're horrible. But I didn't want to like UFO it because it's such a small piece. So why UFO something when I was like, just fucking get it done. And I hated it. I like that it's done now, but like absolutely hated stitching it. And I don't really, it'll probably just stay. I haven't fully finished it. I just pressed it down. I might take this fabric out of my stash and like put it into just my sewing stash for like project bags or whatever, and just kind of like have it there. I don't think I want to stitch on any of this stuff like ever again. Maybe embroidery, if I ever decide to go back into embroidery, maybe I'll like have this fabric for embroidery, but I do need to take it out of my stash. I do not like it. It was this color, a kind of peachy color, and I think like a green color. I'm not exactly sure what ones, but they are now going to be retired, which is a shame because it's cute fabric. Like I think here you can kind of see more of like the speckles. But so that's the finish I have, and I have zero plans to fully finish it. And the spooky season is over, but I do love a good skeleton, like kind of like anatomical creepy thing. So I'll keep it. I don't know. Maybe I'll make it into an ornament and put it on my Christmas tree, because I do have my Christmas tree up already. I'm gonna be gone over the holidays, so I figured might as well put the tree up and enjoy it for like extra time. So I do have that, and it makes my Christmas tree replaces my like lamp. I do have a new lamp, but like it replaces my living room lamp, and because I don't have overhead lighting in my apartment. So during the holiday time, I unplug my lamp and I plug in my Christmas tree for it, and it's kind of in the same area, and that provides the main light source that I have in the evenings for my apartment. So it serves a function, and that's on a timer, and it's lovely. So anyways, there's a tangent. And so one more time, a great stitch. I think if I definitely had it on a different fabric, I would like it. And there's a couple more that from that book that I have earmarked to do as well. So it will just be on different fabric moving forward. I do have a couple new starts. I think I talked about the projects last time, so in my plan. So I've actually made good on my plans. So the first one up is going to be Yule Goddess by the Tiny Modernist. I got this from Jingle Ball last year, just in their like shopping mart. It wasn't an exclusive or anything, but I've always had my eye out on it, and I did get the Pirate and Robin floss pack like conversion for that, so that's why I'm stitching this. So I'm stitching this on a, oh man, I think it's a 36 count Pistachio linen from Fiber on a Whim. It sounds right. If not, I will put it on the screen somewhere. I thought I had it, but I guess I don't. But anyways, here's my new start on Yule Goddess. I'll bring you in closer. I am loving these colors on this fabric. I don't know if it's gonna, it's a wonderful green fabric. That's kind of like truer to color. So started in the middle, moving up. This is going by actually really fast. And so I'm just kind of like taking a color and wherever I can kind of put it in, that's kind of where I'm going. But I really am liking the stitch. So it's been a lot of fun working on this, and with the color conversion from Pirate and Robin, they're very lovely to stitch with. So this has been a lot of fun. I'm excited to keep working on this for this holiday season. But yeah, so this is kind of like all I got for Yule Goddess. Don't know what I'm doing this 1/2. Yeah, so it's definitely 36 count because I'm doing it 1/2. And I know I didn't want to do a 40 count for this. So 36 count pistachio. Yeah, I think pistachios fiber on a whim. So I think this is kind of really true to color back here, I want to say. But yeah, I like it. This has been fun. I know Elizabeth's from Savory Sewing. She has further progress on for this one. I think she's already like put in the hair of the goddess and stuff. So if you want to see a further progress on that, go check out her video. Don't know which one. I just know she is working on it. I'm severely behind on Flosstube just because I've been in a slump for wanting to put on YouTube because I would get so behind on anything else. So like I wouldn't like want to do anything else. It's a time suck for me, which because I have FOMOs, so I like always want to be caught up on everybody, not want to miss out on anything. But I've kind of put that away for a bit and to switch out for books. So but yeah, that's all I have. That's all to say on that one. My next new start is another holiday plan as well that I talked about in my last video, but this is a Kringles from Little House Needlework. I absolutely fell in love with this chart when I saw it. I think I saw Laura from Stitching by the Shore stitch it, and she's doing like a modified version of it, and I forget who else I have seen stitch this, but like absolutely fell in love with. I got this chart when I was back in Florida last year over Thanksgiving. So I've had this chart in my stash for over a year. I finally kitted it all up in Acorns and Threads in September. And so I got a start on it. So here it is. I'm stitching this, man. I think it's Slate. Yeah, it's Slate from, good question. Totally not prepared for this today. Slate from, I think it's Fiber on a Whim again. Maybe, no. It's on the screen, so kudos to you if you're reading. But I really love it, and this is kind of how I wanted to set up the modeling for it. With like clouds and then down there will be snow. But anyways, this is my start on Kringles. I've done like, and I did chart this, so I have a Saga file for it, so I'm not stitching it off of paper. I put it into Saga for it. So I've done like 4% on this. Like I love it. I love the tiny, so this is 40 count. This is definitely 40 count. I think it is 40 count Slate. And I absolutely love how tiny the stitches are. It's so fun to work on it. Like look at the roof, like the color and the roof, the snow. I usually try to work like light stitches before I go put in darker stitches, so I'm not running any thread under, like, so for here I try to put in, like, that's why the roof I've kind of like stopped, because I wanted to put in more white. I ran out of thread to like connect that. More white stitches in, so that way like the dark black and brown threads aren't going under, like going right under here before I put the white over, so you would see it. Just an anxiety I have for that, but like look at, so these this is the brick color, and then I did the mortar in between up here. So that'll be fun to fill in with the red brick, but I love this. I so want this kind of like done, so I'm very motivated to stitch on this, but this is just like 4%. It's gonna be so cute. I love this. I don't really have much else to say. This is 1/2 because it's 40 count. I think it was a couple of videos back, someone commented, because before I started this, I was debating on like, because like this is pretty big for 40 count, like this is a big piece, and because it was stitched on like 30 count Parisian gray, and I didn't want it to be that big. Like this one's gonna be pretty big, like even if I do like margins, so fun, like it'll still be pretty big. But in terms of like hanging it up somewhere, because I do think I would want this to be framed, I didn't want it to be huge. So this one, going back, someone on one of my last like couple videos back commented that they're doing theirs on like a 40 count, I do believe, because my hesitation of doing that is there is one symbol in here that calls for a blend with a metallic, and I was like, well, how's that gonna work out? And someone commented like, oh, I'm just doing one strand of the metallic where it calls for the blend, and it works out for them. So thank you to that person who commented. I do believe I responded to your comment back then, but if you're watching this now, thank you. That was like the kind of push that I needed for going and like solidifying my decision to do this on 40 count. And I think this is like the perfect, because the windows in here are not full coverage, so I wanted something light enough. I think that's why they did gray, but I wanted something kind of like bluish for the sky behind, because I will have like a fair bit of fabric showing when I do eventually decide to frame this. But it's so cute. I love this one. It just reminds me of like a storefront, like a British storefront, so in the holiday time. So I really like this one. Yeah, reminds me of my time when I don't think I was there for Christmas, because I think we were like closer to the Bahamas, but one Thanksgiving way back when, I did spend a lot of time in London during like the holiday season. So you had like Regent Street was like all lit up. I was staying in Mayfair, and it was just like all the shops had their holiday displays, and it was just like the cutest thing. So this one definitely reminds me of that. So I'm really excited to have it and to stitch on it and just have those wonderful memories. Let's move on to whips. I have only like a handful for you for today. Just whatever the mood strikes, that's what I pick up. I do kind of like have a list of like ones that I've been working on, but we'll jump in. First up, we'll start in no particular order. This is the Amur Leopard from Lindy Stitches for their Endangered Species Club. This was the first release for it, and I do know you can get this chart now just as a standalone, but I got it as part of the club, like, so I have all of them basically. I do know this is the only one that has been like released to the general public since that's ended. So this is the Amur Leopard, and here is my progress on it. So I'm stitching this on a 36 count R&R. I am just knocking it out of the park with my knowledge today, aren't I? This one, I at least know I have the R&R Vintage Homespun. That's the words I'm looking for. So this is 36 count R&R Vintage Homespun Linen. I'm stitching this on, I'll have the whole series on the same thing. I know I mentioned in a previous video, but the only reason why this project isn't serged, you know, I have a serger, is I'm going to do a frayed edge finishing for these to kind of have it like look like a Fields Notes journal. I might in backstitch like put like the name of the animal and maybe like the region they're in. I don't know. Anyways, this is what I have. So big progress from the last time. And the big thing now is I have all the little background kind of motifs. Those are all done except for black. I haven't put in black yet. But everything's done except now for black, but the leopard itself. So this one, I don't know, I just really wanted to work on it. There's no rhyme or reason in this house. Now that I've finished all of like my gold stitching, there's no rhyme or reason, just picking up whatever I want. It's so cute, I love it. This one I did, I was in the PDF club for this, and then so I kitted it up with all the fancy floss. So it's all called for, fancy floss, but I purchased separately from the club itself because I just wanted the PDFs. But it's so cute. I love this. Yeah. I'm happy that now it's just gonna be like super block stitching. So this, if I wanna like spend the time doing block stitching, I will. It's really just the fancy floss that's kind of left because I did all that's really called for that you see here is all the DMC except for a little bit of like the brown there. That's kind of what I have. I really like it. It's super cute. Oh, I do want this kind of done. I do want to work on like the other ones too. So I know my goal this year was to kind of do like an animal a month, and I kind of fell off that. I still would like that to be like my intention of doing an animal a month, but as I know myself, goal stitching and like having parameters on what I want to stitch doesn't work. So if I feel motivated, great, but otherwise I'm just gonna stitch what I want to stitch. Anyways, love that. Amur Leopard. Even have some of the back stitching in, but it's very minimal on this one. So that's my Amur Leopard. Next whip that I have for you is just something I haven't touched in like forever, and I know like I'm so behind because it is a stitch along. But I do think I have a plan for this coming up that we'll talk about in plans. But anyways, this is my Stitch for Pride 2025 from Dees 20 Stitches. And this one, I mean, it's basically over. It's a year-long stitch along, and I'm still on the first one. But it is my goal to get working on this and then also do 2024. So who knows? Anyways, this is what I have. So this is for January. I'm doing this with the called for threads, but not on the called for linen. This is a 32 count Gobi linen from Fortnight Fabrics, which they aren't dyeing anymore. I got this on a D-stash, but I thought it was like the perfect, it's a purpley linen, but it turns up dark, and these threads work great for this. So this is January's little motif for the Stitch for Pride. So this is January, and we're November now. But I'll kind of talk to it now that I have it up. I think I'm gonna have this I've never done a 12 by 12, but I'm gonna be gone over New Year's, and like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be like working on New Year's Eve, which is usually like a big moneymaker for me, because parents want to celebrate. Sorry, but I can jack up my prices on New Year's Eve. Like, if you really want to go to the party, like, you can pay. So it's just smart business for me. Whatever. Business. But I don't know if I will be working. And if not, I want to do this as a 12 by 12. So even though I kind of have like January started, I want to do every hour, do every month. So at least start every month. And I think I can do that because I think the way that these spot samplers are set up is that they're all like, you never will have like one that's over here and then like the next one is over here, and like you won't be able, they kind of like, it's well thought out and planned. So it's definitely something that I want to do. I think this will be my 12 by 12 because I'll have all of them by then, and then I can just go through it. So that's my plan. Don't really have any, I'm kind of really winging it today. We're just going through, I don't have all my detailed notes that I would normally have, but this is the main points that you have. These are the called for specialty dye threads from Algae Ross, and I love them. Although my stitches, if I'm being real honest, and I don't know if it's because I've been doing so much 1/2 on like 36 and 40 count, and this is a 32, but I feel like my stitches are very not as like good as I would want them to be, and I don't know what's wrong with that, like why that's bothering me. I don't know. I would try to show you, but my camera's not gonna pick it up, and I think it's just a me issue. Anyways, so this will, if I have it my way, on New Year's Eve or like, I don't know, maybe like just a couple days before, by my WIP parade in January, you will see at least all of these done. Mark, I put it out there in the universe, so it has to happen now. Anyways, so this is 2025 Stitch for Pride. 2/2 called for threads and not called for fabric. Again, 32 count Gobi linen from Fortnight Fabrics. It's pretty purple. You can't, maybe you won't tell. I feel like you can tell the purple more here. Anyways, that's what I have for that one. Any questions, always leave them down below if you have them for me. Next WIP I have, it is my Graveyard Guardian from Sprouting Lupine. I started this last video. It was a new start, so I was really kind of working on this all of October. I still like it. I haven't done a lot of, this used to be my nap time stitch, and I just don't feel like there's so much to do, but nap times are my break time. But I just feel like if I'm sitting down on the couch and like stitching, it's just not, it just hasn't really felt appropriate lately. Which is so weird because like sitting down on the couch and like scrolling my phone seems more appropriate than sitting down and like doing this craft, which is the same thing. I'm still sitting and enjoying my breaks. But there's so much to do with 2 kids and all over the place, but I don't know. So this used to be, all that to say, this used to be my nap time stitch, and I'm not stitching anymore during nap times. I have been reading a bit more, like on my Kindle, but, or just mindlessly scrolling, or I just walk around with my little ADHD brain and just like kind of pinpoint all around the house to see what I need to / want to do. Long story short, I'm not stitching anymore during nap times. I gotta make myself sparse, or I end up working through them, which on my like 10-hour days, I don't really like to do. I like to take my naps. Long-winded story for this one. Here's the WIP. So this is what I have. I am doing a Slate conversion for this one, but none of those specialty threads are even in here yet, so not really worth telling you about it. Actually, yeah, there are. The green, you won't be able to see. The green is a specialty Pirate and Robin thread called Jungle, I do believe. That's about it. The Grim that's gonna be down in the corner will be a specialty black, but this black in here is just 310. So, and then, yeah, it'll be, when I have more on it and I have more to talk about my conversion, I'll let you know. This is what I have for today. So yeah. Haha, fabric, I do know this one. This is I'm doing this on a 40 count. Picture This plus Fawn from my stash. So I do know that one. So again, it's 1/2. I've been doing a lot of 1/2 stitching, which I do like the easiness, but I do miss the loop method. And I know there is a 1-strand loop method, but it works best when you're not stitching in hand, and I exclusively stitch in hand. So it's not the easiest for me because you need like that tension to pull to do it. And when I'm already holding the fabric, I don't have like that tension that's needed for a 1-stranded loop start. So I just hide the tails I do like this one. It's fun. I want a story of all of our lives. I want to see more on it, but I do like all of the other whips that I have. This one's fun. Next whip is my Quacker Quaker. This is what I'm doing for the gridiron grind, but I'm doing it in my own way. Which the gridiron grind's from, I think it stems from Kim Hollenbach, but this one is mine. It's Quacker Quaker. This is for my University of Oregon ducks, and we'll just let you see it. So this is what I have. I'm doing this on a 36 count arboreal linen from Cedar River Linen. This gorgeous green, and then I'm doing a yellow floss from Pirate and Robin called Butter, and this is, I realized I have a lot of Pirate and Robin floss, but this one was specifically, I chose their yellow because it's what I'm calling my Pacific Northwest stitch and my Oregon stitch. So Cedar River Linen's from Seattle, Pirate and Robin is actually from like the Eugene area. So very appropriate for this, and I love it. It's like the best like green and yellow without like actually being in your face green and yellow. And my one change for this chart is I will have it's coming up here, but I think I'm gonna save it for the end. I'm gonna chart in, there's like supposed to be a vase of flowers here. I'm just gonna put in the Oregon O for that one. So that will be, but I think I kind of want to save that for the actual end. But this one, I love it. I did finish this motif, this half Quaker motif, and I've been like filling in the head of these like two ducks. But this one, so for my gridiron grind, I'm just doing the time that the game takes. It's usually about 3 hours. I haven't really been good at like keeping track of it, and I've been going places to watch the game more now, as opposed to just like sitting at home and like updating the Google page for the score, because I don't have the I can barely watch it. So I haven't been stitching on this as much, all that to say. I haven't been stitching on it as much because I've been actually watching the games. So, but for every hour, so I'm just putting in hours for this one, and it's been working out pretty well. I like it. Monochromatic, so it is easy. 1/2, 36 count. So I think I bought like 5 10-yard skeins of this butter. I don't feel like I've even been like halfway through one, so I think I overbought. That's the thing. For me, I tend to overbuy my floss when it comes for called for, like for Kringles, even though it was stitched on 30 count, and I'm stitching it on 40, I bought the same floss amount as if I was stitching it on 30, so I know I'll have extra. I just don't know how much. I don't know how to really do that one, but I think I did the calculations. So I bought 5 skeins of this butter. I know I'll have some left over. But yeah, I like it. This is gonna probably be like a hanging on my wall, which I'll put it up for football season and then put it away for football season. It's been fun. The final whip that we have for today is my Hagrids Hut, and I'm still doing this for Andrew, the Render Stitcher's WIPintoshape. He's done. Congratulations, Andrew. You're done with your marathon. Congratulations for that. I still have about like 2,000 stitches to do because I don't keep up with anything, but I do love it because it does kind of like point me in a direction to like put these stitches in, and I do like how much progress I've seen for this piece. So this is Hagrid's Hut by Paradise Stitch, right? Even though that is actually technically a program, but I do believe it's Paradise Stitch. You can get it on, the link will be down below on where to get it. But so this is what I have. This will be, so I have the full width of the piece now. The length obviously will end up down there. I'm stitching this on a 28 count sky blue linen from Zweigart, just a plain linen. But this is kind of, no, actually I can't really fold that. This is what I have. So I love how you can see all these, the oranges of the pumpkin coming in. The scarecrow belly is right here. The pumpkin head is gonna be here. I know I definitely got in that new tree there. And yeah, I'm really, for full coverage too, I will show off my back for this full coverage, but I'm pretty impressed with myself. What I do is I just pick a color and I go for as long as I can. There's not a lot of confetti in this piece, so that makes it easy. It's not like a traditional full coverage piece, even though it is full coverage. I do know, I think the last time I spoke, I was still being a chicken about putting in like the background. But I think what I'm doing is kind of going like column by column and just taking whatever, what stitch I feel like I need and putting it in. And so I think I will do the background, because if it's not gonna work out, I just need to accept it. I'm not redoing this at all, but I just will need to accept it, or like change, do something. As you can see, there's like a couple holes here because this color wasn't like anywhere around, but I think it's like one of these colors. So now I usually like, the way I stitch is I usually like to thread my needle with like one length, however long that is, stitch with it. And then I don't want to have leftovers, so I want to see how far I can take it. So I usually will stitch. That's another reason why there's holes right here, because these colors weren't showing up anywhere else, or it would be like over here, and it's like, I'll just wait. Same with that little spot down there. But that's what I have. Hagrid's Hut. I really still love this piece. I do realize, I think I've done 12%. So I think I would kind of like to have this be like, I do 12% a year. This is also taken me, I did restart this. So this version of this project, I restarted last Thanksgiving. Yes, because I had bought this. I remember being in Florida, and I brought this, I did restart this last year. So I did 12% in 1 year. So I think if I do 12% every year, it's gonna take me 8 years to do it, but yeah, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It will get done. I just maybe want it done a little bit sooner. We'll see. Is this also 12% without doing any of the background stitches? I don't know what I'm saying. 2 over 2, 28 count, 12%. I like it. I'm happy. Thank you, Andrew, for having that challenge, because it, even though I haven't kept up with it, I still have like clocked all your miles and the stitches that are needed, and it's 2,200 stitches that I have left to say I've completed this. So that's what I have. Those are all my whips for this video. I don't really have, what do I normally do? I do haul, right? I do haul. I do have haul. Very minimal. I do have haul. So we'll do haul, then plans. All right, so I don't have that much haul, only because nothing's really been speaking to me and I have a lot that like I want to stitch, and I feel like I got a lot during the freebie table at the Stitch Summit. But there's still haul, because again, if there's ever a video where I don't have haul, there is something that's going on with me, and so it's a good check-in indicator. But I do have some. So we'll start off with one of like my very favorite purchases, although I'm a little disappointed in it, but I just needed to buy it because I needed to have it. I needed to have that serotonin like hit with me. So I got my like second unicorn chart from the Barbara and Cheryl line. The first one was the A Change of Pace, which I showed a couple like things ago, and my second one was this Pastel Reflections. Like, I just, you know me, I love me a good Barbara and Cheryl. Like, I just do not understand what it is with them, but I love them and I want all of them. And I picked this up on eBay, even though I still have a beef with eBay. I just wanted this, and the only place I could find this particular chart was on eBay. So I bought it. So but look at this. I just look at that. Yeah, this one for sure. But what I normally, like all the other Barbara and Cheryls that I have, is they're like actual kind of like booklets. This one is just kind of like is very nice, but then it's just like kind of like these pages, which I guess will be fine if when I do my like recharting of it. But I was a little disappointed in the presentation of it. But I mean, I guess it is a leaflet, but even like leaflets that I have in my collection are more of like a book. So a little disappointed, but I still have it. Just for like collection sake, I might still be like on the hunt for like an actual like booklet version of this, but for now I have them. I will get them. Part of also the fun of like Barbara and Cheryl and like these charts, or like kind of any chart that I get, is like the other fun part is putting it into charting software and digitizing the chart. That's part of the fun for me with these charts. So this will be another fun digitization. But I'm so happy. This was my second unicorn for Barbara and Cheryl, and anything else is just icing on the cake. So I kind of like know where most of these live, and I kind of, especially on Etsy, I've been able to like favorite some. So when I feel like I need a little dopamine hit, or, you know, just need some retail therapy, I'll just check out my cart. So that's what I have. I have these, and I'm so excited for these. I think I might do like a Barbara and Cheryl like flip through now that I like of my stash of like the ones that I have, because I have a lot. But these ones, I was so excited to get this. I don't know what it is. I do know what it is, but I love them. The rest of my haul relates to a chart that I got through a giveaway, and that was this one, the I See the Moon chart from M Designs. Like, absolutely love this one. I went into details in my last video about this chart. So, and the significance. So this one, all the rest of the haul relates to this, and hopefully I will put like a picture in the corner as I talk about it. So because I won that as a giveaway, and so I was like, let me just kit up everything. So I have it. I do want to start it. So I have all that. You can't go wrong with Lindy stitches and their floss deal where it's buy 5 get 1 free. You can't go wrong with that. So I kitted up all the fancy floss for it. So there's like a handful of weeks. I got these ones. I love this purple. And then I got all these ones. This is like the ocean that you see. I do know already I'm going to like cut out the bottom of the chart where it has the alphabet and stuff, so I know I won't need all of this. But again, I just buy it as called for, however many I need. And then if I have leftovers, I have leftovers, and it's in my stash. So I bought all the fancy floss for this chart. It's a lot, but this chart means a lot to me, so I'm just gonna go for it. So those are all the fancy floss. I think that I did get like one extra of something, and it's not all of it. These are all the ones I got from Lindy Stitches. There was one color, I don't know if you can see, there was one color that they didn't have, and I had to scour like the internet for it, and I found it. So this is Deep Sea from the Gentle Art, and I only needed one. And I was able to find it from from the Surgeon's Knot. And so I paid, and it was like, before, like they only have one shipping option, and it was like $5. And I was like, you know what, fine, I got the free chart, so I'll do the $5 to ship this one piece of floss. I couldn't justify buying anything else. And so what they graciously did is like they just put it in a random envelope and kind of refunded me some of the shipping. Not saying that's like gonna happen if you do it, but for me it worked out. So very thankful for that. So I was able to get this. So I have all the floss for the I See the Moon chart. And then I still had like a gift card from last Christmas that had some money on it for 1 2 3 Stitch. So if you can hear it, I got the beads. So it calls for like these 4 beads. So I got these. I wanted to get the metallics that go with it. And like last video, it came to find out that I had one of them in one of like a Dees stash haul that I bought. But I'm still waiting for 2 others. One has come in from 123 Stitch, but I'm just gonna wait till the other one comes in, purchase them together, ship them out. But after I bought these, I will say that as I'm thinking of like fabric, because as you can see, this chart like is on like a very pretty purple fabric. I was like, let me see what I have in stash. And all I have is a 40 count in stash that I think would work perfectly for this. But these beads are gonna be way too big for that. So I've already purchased the beads. I'm not gonna repurchase other like smaller version of these beads for that 40 count. So now I'm just on the hunt for a 40 count fabric. I've been like monitoring Dees, or not 40 count fabric, for a purple fabric, lavender fabric. I'm on Dees stash groups, and if it comes up, great. I found another like 40 count or 36, but I'm really gonna stick to like the 32 that's called for because I already got the beads. So that was a little bit like my bad, because I just jumped the gun and I was like, let me just go through the list on the back, buy everything, and like that way I have it. I forgot for beads, you do kind of like have to consider the count of the fabric for it. So now I'm kind of stuck needing to do a 32 count. And the only reason why I like to change counts is because I want things smaller and not have like too many big things. But I'm already cutting like, I want to say like 1/4 of this chart off, so it'll be smaller. So that's my justification. But if it all comes down to it, and I really want to start this and I haven't found the right fabric on a Dees stash, I'll just buy like the called for, because the called for is 32 count antique lavender linen from Witchelt. Don't think I'll buy the Witchelt, but I do think that Zweigart has a lavender linen like this. But yeah, so I will cut that off probably to there. So, which I think like the one specialty thread that I had to buy special is mainly for that, but I think it is also for those waves too. And then you can't see it, but this is supposed to be like a hill right there. When I chart it up digitally, it'll be fine. But, so that's the whole haul I have. Very minimal. We will go to plans. I don't have many plans, although like I was saying, I do think I've never done a 12 by 12 before. I do think I'll do the Pride spot sampler, Pride 2025 spot sampler for my 12 by 12. And I think that would be like a fun take on it. It's the same piece, but just getting all of those 12 motifs put in. And if I feel up to it, I might actually do that for the 2024 spot sampler as well. I don't have the threads for that, but we'll see what happens. So we might do that. And then I do have a list of like my whips that I want to work on. So obviously the holiday ones that I've been working on, but then I have a list of like, I want to say like 6 or 7 other whips that are like maybes. Like if I feel like getting to it, great. So again, if I feel like getting to it, great. Other than that, I haven't been stitching as much. I kind of like feel like I've just slowed down a bit, but it's more of I've been escaping into like my Kindle and like Kindle Unlimited like popcorn books, and just like diving in. It's wintertime, which is my favorite time, only for the sense of like it just spring's my favorite season, but I love this time of year only because I love my hot water bottle and like the coziness of like getting that reading, and like I'm trying to set up better like habits. Yay. I've been doing more of like setting up like a nighttime routine and then waking up really early, because I've noticed that if I just wake up with just enough time to barely like get ready and like get in the car and go to work, I'm really angry at work when it comes to like these little like nuances of bottles being left in the sink overnight or that have accumulated over the weekend, and then on Monday morning I have to clean up for the weekend, which that's not my job. I wholly work as like a partnership with people. Like we're on the same team. When I'm not here, it's your turn. And when I am here, it's my turn. So I handle all my business during my working hours and I make it set up. So like I set you up for success when I'm not there. And so I just kind of like at one point I had to be like, can you please like do the bottles so it sets me up for success when I get here in the morning. And so that's been working for them. But I just realized that there was just like this like tension because I would just be like getting to work, like kind of like not really having my cup filled, and then I'd get to work and my cup would already be drained, and then I just would be like a short fuse. And it wasn't really fair to anybody. So the way I've changed that around is I am now like having a good nighttime routine. So then I wake up super early, and not to like the 4 a.m. time that I like used to like a couple years ago, but just like 5. And then it's like I need to make my coffee and have my breakfast at home, have my own little mellow moments, and just kind of like make sure I feel fulfilled before I go and I give a lot of myself to someone else. And that's been working out. So that's also why like Flosstube I haven't been watching it, because like I used to be like just watching TV or Flosstube and just like fall asleep on my couch. And as much as I love my couch, like I love my bed even more. And so just switching up some habits for that. But this is like the best time of year for me to do that. Like it's really great. Summer is draining for me. I do love the weather as opposed to the weather now. And spring will always be my favorite. I'd actually like to know like some books that I've read. Yeah, it's been one of those days. So we'll go through this list pretty quickly, because most of them are nothing of substance. And I don't mean that disparagingly or like that they weren't good books. It's just, I really am just like reading to escape life. So they're not profound books that like, you know, I would tell everybody to read, but they are just like entertainment. It's like trash TV, like it's not substance, it fills a need. First up, Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I really enjoyed this one. It was one of those books where like you're reading about it and I'm pretty perceptive, and I was like, there's really no like clear win in this situation unless someone like gives up something they were like very dead set on like not giving up. Spoiler alert, someone does give up something they were dead set on not giving up. But I did enjoy it. It was cute. It was lovely. It offered a perspective that you don't really see in books a lot, when it talks about like aging parents and becoming the caretakers for them and how to deal with like illness. And I've just been thinking a lot about like my parents. Sorry, Mom, but you guys are getting up there in years, and just like kind of how to handle situations when it comes to that. And so I appreciated that aspect of this little romance book. Just added more depth to it. The next kind of like series of books that I read is the Bootleg Springs like series from Lucy Score. I forget the other author that's with that, but it's a series of 5 books. They're great, like little like spicy romance books, but this one I liked it because it had a mystery that kind of tied it all. You do kind of have to read the whole series. And I will say that's kind of probably what kept me going, to see if I like, very rarely does a book pull one over on me. So I kind of guessed how this was ending from like book 2 or 3. So most of the times I finish books like that just to see if I was correct. And like I said, very rarely does a book pull one over on me. And I was 100% correct in my assumption of where that series was going. So that was fun. this town that it's set in is very picturesque and idyllic in a sense of like, it's a small town where everybody, like, they have their own way of running things. Sometimes in my life, I feel like, could I do a small town? No. Not that I ever grew up in a really, really small town. It was a small town, but like the level of small town they have, no, that sounds like hell in my idea. I like having some space and anonymity in a large city. So there's that. What else did I read next? The big one was Things Gods Break, and I can't believe I got this book because it just released like in October, and I put a notice on my Libby, and I was like the first person to check it out. Like, I couldn't believe it, because then by the time like it's sat on my Libby shelf not wanting to read it, because that happens when like books like I really want to read, I don't read them. I was like, crap, I have only so many days to read a 21-hour audiobook, so I have to, and I did not want to bump up the speed, so I definitely was devoted to that book for a long time. But loved it. As number 2 in the Crucible series, from Abigail. It's all on the screen. My brain's not braining today. Absolutely loved it. Can't say enough good things about the series. I love the series, and I recommend it. I'm very upset because the 3rd book in the series won't come out for a whole year. Like a whole year. Although I will say, the ending of this book, without doing a spoiler, because you kind of have to read like another series to kind of get this reference, it very much ended the way Iron Flame ended, which is by Rebecca Yarros. That's book number 2. I still have not read Onyx Storm just because it's heavy. I like my popcorn books because they're light, frivolous, and lovely. And as much as I appreciate a good dark, like fantasy, like war and conflict and strife and all that, kind of wears me down. Very much an empath, so sometimes I kind of need to have the light, frivolous books to just have a light, frivolous, like happy demeanor. Anyway, so book 2, Things Gods Break, absolutely loved it. Loved it. Always. But it did end like Iron Flame ended. So take that what you will. There is no spoiler for that one. I hope not. I didn't say anything, and that doesn't really give it away. But I've read Good For You, which, I don't know. I'm kind of done with like books set in like the magazine publishing world. I feel like it's an overdone industry that clearly is dying. So that one was fine. I don't really care for it. What else have I read? I read Beg, Borrow, Steal from Sarah Adams, and that one is like, what is that, book 3? Book 3? I've read the other ones in her like When in Rome series. It was fine. It was good. I don't really like, it was fine. It was humorous at times. I'm like a stellar book reviewer here, let me just tell you. I go off vibes. It was a good vibe. I would recommend it if you liked her other books. Most recently, I finished When in Amsterdam by Rachel Lynn Solomon, and I loved this book in a sense of like, I really connected with it, but basically someone like goes and gets a job in Amsterdam, and then like, one thing I don't like about this book is that it really based off of like, it's kind of like a second chance romance, but like the second chance was like, the first chance was when they were 17, and like the male main character, he was a like exchange student, but like when they were in high school, and so like, yeah, you can have like great loves in high school, I guess, but it just, you change so much from when you were like 17 years old to like what the characters were then like at 30 years old, that like she really held on to the love of someone at 17. That was the one thing where I was like, okay, maybe if it was like a college romance, I'd believe that a little bit better, but this is like something in high school. high school romance that like you get a second chance at. I don't know. It was just for a short period of time of like an exchange student. Whatever. But I did like it because it was set in Amsterdam, obviously. And like the whole, like the bike rides, the different way of life. Like, if anything, it helped me realize that, yeah, when you are in Europe, like I turn into a different person. And I guess it is part of that is because I'm not living real life. And like the times I've been to Europe the most, I've definitely not been living real life. I've been like living the life of luxury just with the families that I was with, right? But there's certain aspects of vacation, like European Jill, that I would like to bring into today, like LA Jill. And so that is, this book was kind of like a good reminder of that. I would still love to work and live in a different country for like a long period of time. But like actually live and work, would love to do that. So this book was nice for that. And again, it was like a Dutch book. So, and I think it is based on like the author's like real life experience, but this is like the fun, like fictionalized, like romantic, like aspect of it. So I liked it. Anything else? Not so much. So those are all the books. If you do want to know kind of like more about the books, although I don't really write those good reviews because I just don't have the capacity. My capacity is very low for like those kind of like thoughtful things, and also with this video in terms of adding more like depth to explanations. Don't have the capacity for it right now. All that to say, thank you so much for sticking around, listening to me babble on through books that you may or may not want to read based on my stellar impressions of them. I appreciate everybody who goes through like detailed book analysis, and I always say like I'll come back to your videos and write down those titles. I never do. I'm really just treating this as it should be, which is a hobby, and when I feel up to it, that's great. I love it when people do like weekly videos or like, you know, are on a consistent basis, but that's just, my life is not consistent outside of work. Trying to learn that structure equals freedom. And that's very hard for me to learn because I don't like being told what to do, even when I'm telling myself what to do something. So I'm gonna leave you there with that. I hope everybody is having a great time. I know a lot of people love fall. I love that for you. So if this is your season, I hope you are maximizing your enjoyment out of it. I hope everybody's able to just kind of like take those moments when you can. I hope you're all surviving. I hope some of you are thriving. I would love to hear that if you're thriving. Like, I would love to celebrate that with you. But all that to say, stay awesome, be awesome, and do kind things. Thank you.